Okay, we're in here. All right, guys. So I am in a completely different location yet again today. So today we are here to continue on with our reading of Genesis. We are on Genesis chapter 10. Shout out to these clouds, though. I have been very interested in clouds lately, and not really sure why, but just been very interested in. Yeah, it's not quite giving cumulonimbus. That's my favorite one because that's the cumulonimbus is like the one that's like really big and grandiose, and you can see those like when the sun is setting, they look really really beautiful. Those are like the gates of heaven clouds. That's what I call them, cumulonimbus. But I don't know if they're giving that. Might just be a regular cumulus cloud. We don't know. But okay. Let's go ahead and get into it. We are, like I said, at Genesis 10, and I really don't know where I'm going to stop because now we're about to start getting into the juiciness, into the stories, into the juicy stories. So we're going to get through 10 today, and if it's like not a good place to stop within the actual story, then we'll keep going. Okay, let's see. So today I am reading from New King James Version, NKJV. Typically, well, lately I've been reading out of NIV, but I don't have that Bible on me right now. So let's go ahead to chapter 10. Okay. So, okay. All right. So, nations descended from Noah. Now, this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the sons born. I'm sorry, that's not what it says at all. And sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. From these, the coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, into their nations. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sebta, Ramah, and Sebtecha. I think that's it's giving. Okay. Um, where were we? Okay. Cush, or I'm sorry. Oh, and the sons of Ramah were Sheba and Dedan. Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore, it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Rezin between Nineveh and Calah. That is the principal city. It's very interesting, like very, very interesting. When I see the name Nimrod, it gets me excited because in addition to the Bible, I do like to explore or read works that are related to the Bible, but did not necessarily make it into the Bible. And lately I've been reading the book of Yasher, which is actually mentioned 2 times in the Bible. I think Samuel's like, isn't it written? Is this not written in the book of Yasher? So he mentions it there. And then there's another reference, which I can't quite remember right now. But in that book, it gives a lot of detail. You can tell like that was probably some sort of like how they would pass things down word for word. You can tell like these were things that were passed down word for word. And these were the stories or the historical accounts that they would learn, or that the ancient Hebrews would learn. You can tell like that's what it was, like some type of historical account, so that people would know what happened in their history. And Nimrod is in there, and it gives you so many details about what they're saying, like that he was so mighty. So let me see. Okay, good. I'm on 34%. I thought I was about to I thought my phone was about to die. But anywho, all right. So if you get a chance, definitely check that out because it is an interesting read. Definitely not something that scholars consider God breathed, but it is very interesting if you like things like that and you want to read something that gives the same exact stories as what happens in Genesis, but it gives more detail. Okay, so let's see. Mizraim begot Ludim, Anamim, Lehabim, Nephtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Casluhim, from whom came the Philistines, and Caphtorim. Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, and the Girgashite, the Hivite, the Archite, and the Sinite, the Arvadite, the Zemarite, and the Hamathites. Afterwards, the families of the Canaanites were dispersed, and the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon as you go toward Gerar, as far as Gaza, then as you go toward Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. These were the sons of Ham according to their families, according to their languages, in their lands, and in their nations. And children were born also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder. The sons of Shem were Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. To Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan begot Almodad, Shelef, Hazar Maveth, Jerah, Hadaram, Uzal, Diklah, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling place was from Mashah as you go toward Safar, the mountain of the east. These were the sons of Shem according to their families, according to their languages, in their lands, according to their nations. These were the families. These were the families of the sons of Noah according to their generations, in their nations, and from these nations were divided on the earth after the flood. So, highly interesting. And so those were the nations descended from Noah. So now we are going to read the Tower of Babel, which is a pretty good story. And we're going to read, this is chapter 11. And then after chapter 11, we're going to stop because then comes promises to Abraham, or promises to Abram, because he ain't Abraham quite yet. Okay, so let's get through chapter 11. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, "Indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now, nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore, its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth. Shem's descendants. Let's take a look at Shem's descendants. This was the genealogy of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. After he begot Arphaxad, Shem lived 500 years and begot sons and daughters. Arphaxad lived 35 years and begot Salah. After he begot Salah, Arphaxad lived 400 years. Oh, I lied. 403 years and begot sons and daughters. Salah lived 30 years and begot Eber. After he begot Eber, Salah lived 403 years and begot sons and daughters. Eber lived for 34 years and begot Peleg. After he begot Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and begot sons and daughters. Peleg lived 30 years and begot Ru. After he begot Ru, Peleg lived 209 years and begot sons and daughters. Everybody's begetting sons and daughters. Let's see. Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor. After he begot Nahor, Serug lived 200 years and begot sons and daughters. Nahor lived 29 years and begot Terah. After he begot Terah, Nahor lived 119 years and begot sons and daughters. Now Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Introducing new characters. Terah's descendants. This is the genealogy of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Haran begot Lot. So now we see that Lot is Abraham's nephew. And Haran died before his father Terah in his native land, in Ur of the Chaldeans. Then Abram and Nahor took wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren, and she had no child. And Terah took his son Abram and his grandson Lot, the son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, his son Abram's wife, and they went out with them from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to the land of Canaan. And they came to Haran and dwelt there. So the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. And that is the genealogy. A call was coming in. So we have finished the genealogy of Abram's father, and so now we're about to get into the story of Abram, which we all know he is the father of many sons. So we're going to learn about Abram, we're going to learn about all his sons, all their wives, all their dramatics, and I think that's going to be really, really great. One thing that I wanted to point out here, if you notice the way that the writers would tell stories way back in the day, we all know we're talking about biblical times, you'll see that before they go into detail, like they will give you an overview. Like if you notice here, we went through the descendants of Noah, and in that particular part, it showed how they all had different languages and they were separated based on their languages. So you had this large overview, and then you zoom in to a detail of that particular story, which in this case, the next chapter is the Tower of Babel, where we learn how their tongues were separated, how everybody got separate languages, basically. And so then you'll notice that we have the story of Shem's descendants, which was already listed here in the nations descended from Noah. But we have Shem's descendants, and then we have Terah's descendants. And so that's a large overview. And then we're going to zoom into the details of Abram's life. So I just wanted to point that out to you, so that maybe that's something that you can study or gain more insight on. I don't know if you're like me, a nerdy person who loves all things literature and you like literary, devices, techniques, and, just how stories are told, storytelling. But I just thought that was something interesting to point out. I'm no scholar or nothing like that. I'm an avid researcher. I'm no scholar. But I think I'm correct in what I just said. Anywho, I hope that you all have a blessed day, a blessed week. Of course, I am going to touch bases tomorrow because we're going to be moving on to chapter 12 and probably chapter 13. Like now we're in there. Now we're in the story. Like now we are getting to where the plot is going to start thickening, honey. And So it's kind of going to be hard to pick out where I'm going to stop in the stories because it's just great. And yeah, Genesis is like really one of my favorite books of the Bible because it lays the foundation for a lot of things. And also I think it's really good for creatives because you're seeing the beginning of a thing and the way that it develops. Okay. And then you get to see um God in a creative way, especially in the first chapter. And it's just amazing to read. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you have anything that you want me to add to these videos, definitely let me know. Any prayer requests, definitely drop those down because I'll rally behind you. I will. And yeah, questions, comments, concerns, just put them in the chat. And we're in the comments. And yeah, have a good day. Happy Sunday. Bye.